call from Phil with pocket nines, and a call from the big blind of Patrik Antonius with the weak ace, ace-4.
Queen 9 ace.
Well.
Oh, wow, what a flop here. We've got a monster. We've got a set of nines for Phil Ivey. We've got an ace here for Antonius.
5,000.
He's got top pair. Ivey with bottom set. And if you get cute with it, Tony G, he's got a gut shot here. He can catch a 10 to make Broadway.
Phil Ivey leading out with his set. He's not interested in just trying to pick the 5,000-6,000 up there or get a small continuation bet.
Pass.
Tony G gets away from his king-jack. And it's just Patrik Antonius and Phil Ivey, the two big losers of the game so far today.
Ace.
Oh, wow, and that is such a gin card there. The ace of spades on the turn. Antonius got trip aces, but Ivey's got a full house, nines full of aces. The pot is already nearly $17,000.
It does bring a flush as well, so that may slow Patrik Antonius down. And, of course, his kicker isn't that strong either with the 4. But I'll be shocked if he doesn't call this.
Ivey is not out of the woods, though. A queen, an ace, or a 4 would kill Ivey. Pot is $31,700.
Do you think there's actually any way that Patrik Antonius can actually lay this hand down? There's not really a lot he can actually beat here.
Called 15.
Well, he definitely doesn't have a raising hand. He doesn't have much of a kicker. He can't beat an ace, he can't beat spades, and he can't beat a set.
Pass card.
Here's the river.
4.
Wow, what a card!
Oh, and this is just one of those days where if you're Phil Ivey, just stick your head somewhere and go somewhere else. This is terrible. A 4 on the river, and Antonius has made full house. The pot is already $46,000. I don't see how Ivey doesn't lose all his money here. You got to realize if a queen had come out or an ace, you get away from the nines, but not the 4.
4 is the absolute joker for Patrik Antonius.
Unbelievable.
That's all I can say.
He's played his get out of jail free card. And now it's just a question of how much he can get out of it. That's a $40,000 bet from Phil Ivey.
$40,000 bet. The pot is now $86,000, and the action is on Antonius. And do you just move in here?
I think he does. I think he's just going to move his chips in. He's got the right amount for a standard kind of raise here.
And sure enough, there it is. Patrik Antonius moves all in.
Patrik moves all in.
How much is it? How much is he moving in for?
I think they pretty well had almost exactly the same amount of chips at the start of this hand.
You're right. Patrik Antonius started the hand with $143,000. Phil Ivey with $142,000. And this pot size is $207,000. I want to say about 90 to call.
85.
That's going to make this pot almost $300,000. And I can't see how Phil can get away from this. He's not going to give him ace-queen. He can't really give him ace-9. The only hand he's really losing to here is ace-4.
But would Patrik Antonius make this move with anything else?
King flush. The pot's offering him 2 to 1.
Unbelievable.
Call.
And
He says
Phil
call.
Ivey is called. He is called. This is the biggest pot in the history of televised poker in Europe. It's unbelievable.
Full house.
$300,000 almost in this pot. And Phil Ivey desperately unlucky on that 4 on the river. And Patrik Antonius wins a
20,
monster.
40.
The button's in front of the Finnish superstar, the pretty man, pretty boy, and the big winner today, Patrik Antonius.
What a good time he had. And then about half an hour later, he was broke. We never saw him again.
And there it is. Phil Ivey in the cutoff seat with the hooks.
94.
2,000.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And there's a couple of hands behind him.
Cool.
Race to 2, call of 2. And here comes Brian. Looks like a deep reach. And then a change of plan. He calls with the 8.
No, it's not a good
Gives
play.
me that tingly feeling inside when these three players play a pot.
Well, would have got her more stuck.
Well, man, he's gonna wait for her to use the bathroom and sneak some money under the table.
What a flop.
Oh, wow, this is it. What a flop here. We've got ace, ace, jack board here. Ivey has flopped, bottoms full, and Patrik Antonius has flopped trip aces. And both these players are very deep. Each player has
We
over
had just started
$400,000.
playing 16 back then. When I moved to Vegas in '93, the big game was
The
like
pot is only $12,000.
I'm willing to bet it's going to go up at some point in this hand.
That was the biggest game.
Probably a
and
good
the
assumption.
Chip came down for that game. And then it was a big deal when we kind of kicked it up to 8 and 16, and that was kind of the regular game.
15.
Patrick Antonius re-raises, puts it to 15,000.
There were bigger games, weren't there? I mean,
Well, they're,
Now, obviously, Patrik Antonius cannot beat ace king,
But just that
ace
was
queen,
the
or
biggest
ace
game.
jack.
we're like the pros and the
Little does he know that Ivey's got
together on a regular
pocket
basis.
jacks.
There's always gonna be, you know,
And the pot is $27,000. And his eyes are just lighting up here. Just trying to figure out, how do I maneuver this pot to make as much as I possibly can?
But I mean, you know, they used to
50
play.
so.
They were playing like 1-200.
And he is going to re-raise right away. He makes it 50 total.
He was just trying to launder money. Tipping
Phil Ivey not going to wait
I heard he
to
was
build
doing
this
that.
pot up.
yeah, I read that in paper. I read that Pamela
Patrik
Anderson-
Antonius does have some outs here. He can catch an ace or a 10. And he is going to call this. And look at this. This
I
pot
heard conflicting Antonio and then the.
is already $107,000.
You don't know?
The turn is the 5 of diamonds.
That's a great card for Phil. He can be pretty certain that Patrick's not re-raising him with ace 5.
Although, if you remember correctly, Antonius did win a huge pot with ace 4 against Phil Ivey earlier.
$100,000.
And this is a huge bet here. Phil Ivey is making a $100,000 bet. Those are $25,000 chips. The pot is $207,000, $100,000 to Antonius, and this is the exact reason Ivey rebought.
Well, that $100,000 bet is really going to confuse Patrick. He doesn't know whether he's up against an ace-king, an ace-queen. He tried to find out with the 15,000 bet.
Cool.
And look at this, Patrik Antonius is going to call.
A 5 wouldn't get him any action, but would put him in front. A 10 would be a huge river. It's a queen.
It's a queen, it changes nothing, and for once, Ivey has not gotten unlucky.
Might scare him a little, though, that queen.
Of course. Remember, right now,
They're all talking at the start of this hand. Now everyone's watching. This pot is 307,000, and it could be getting bigger.
Phil Ivey trying to think, how much can I bet here? This is an enormous pot. Phil Ivey, the master, trying to figure out exactly how to get the big call.
A decent-sized bet from Ivey, and Patrick should be able to get away from the hand. There isn't really much he can beat here.
No, you're correct there. But the pot is $300,000. What about the human side of it? Can you really let $300,000 go?
He's got to decide what he wants to bet, and is he going to pass if he gets re-raised and puts 150,000 in there?
think he's probably going to bet about 200,000 here, maybe even more. The pot is $300,000. Phil Ivey, an absolute master.
He might even just declare all in. He's sitting with about the pot size in front of him, around the 300,000 mark.
And could Phil Ivey get even in just one hand? Absolutely phenomenal poker. And what is Patrik Antonius thinking right now, Gary? As he waits for Phil Ivey to make a bet.
He's probably trying to decide, what do I do if he bets? What do I do if he checks?
Phil Ivey, obviously really thinking this through. The wheels are turning.
He's gone back for the blacks.
Those are $25,000 each. This could really sort him out. And look at this. This is the bet. It's $225,000. Phil Ivey has just bet $225,000. This pot is over $500,000. It is actually $250,000. It's 12 black chips. The pot is $557,000. What do you do if you're Patrik Antonius?
$557,000. The only thing he can really beat now is a bluff. He knows if Phil Ivey is re-raising him on the flop, a third bet, he should have ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, jacks full. But it's also got to be going through his mind that Phil Ivey is stuck, and he is stuck big. This could be his one chance to get out of it, to steal this pot. Is Patrik Antonius going to make the call?
Phil Ivey like a stone here. Patrik Antonius trying to figure it out. The superstar from Finland really put to the test here. $250,000 bet. If he calls this bet, Ivey will actually be ahead.
That's all it's going to cost. Just 10 black chips.
Exactly, 10.
Doesn't sound a lot. Just a little bit of plastic. But that is $250,000.
This pot is over $500,000.
Come back to play with the chips.
Not much Antonius can beat here. But can he say goodbye to that big a pot? You can just feel the tension in the room.
I call.
Cool.
He says call. This is a monster, and it is the hand that Phil Ivey has been waiting for. $807,000 pot. Incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Patrik Antonius calls that. It's over an $800,000 pot. This is absolutely unbelievable. This very well might be the biggest pot in televised history. Over $800,000, and in just one hand, Phil Ivey has turned it all around. Oh, that has got to be sickening to Patrik Antonius.